From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
this week, November 11th, the nation takes a day to honor our veterans. Today, we're focusing on veteran entrepreneurs and the path that can lead veterans then to be great candidates for entrepreneurship. We learn how Innopower and Tech Point are working together to grow Indiana's technology sector inclusively. And we hear a success story from an Indianapolis business leader who's making history with her innovative approach to diverse participation in construction.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
With Credit Karma, finding the right credit card for you is easy. Our app analyzes user profiles to suggest personalized recommendations. Visit creditkarma.com today to explore cards tailored to your needs. Credit Karma, simplifying your financial choices.
Let's get right to our Getting Started segment. This segment focuses on the resources you may not even realize are out there to help you get your business off to the right start. Case in point, this week, November 11th, the nation takes a day to honor our veterans. Today, we're focusing this segment on veteran entrepreneurs and the path that can lead from a career in the military, which itself teaches new skills, problem solving, and leadership qualities that lead veterans then to be great candidates for entrepreneurship. Veterans and military families have a new ally in their quest for business success. Courtney Zaugg is ambassador for Bunker Labs Indianapolis. She explains how this young nonprofit is empowering people in the military community to be successful entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Bunker Labs is a national incubator focused on supporting military-connected entrepreneurs. So that could be veterans, it could be spouses, it could be children of those in the military, both active and as veterans. And we have established a chapter here in Indianapolis in 2021, so we're brand new. And right now we're focused on supporting our latest accelerator called Veterans in Residence. It's a 6-month-long cohort made up of entrepreneurs looking to scale their company. Bunker Labs is industry agnostic, so you could have a nonprofit that's helping veterans experiencing homelessness all the way to a tech company, a SaaS company looking to scale and raise capital. It's everything in between. Unlike other entrepreneurial support organizations that have to almost manufacture and create some type of programming to get the community to congeal, that foundation is established. You walk into a room, there is a level of trust and camaraderie that exists, and then the walls come down. Once the walls come down and entrepreneurs are able to really focus on what the pain points are, the ability to address those issues and get connected to the right resources is much easier. So besides the Veteran Residence cohort, there's a national incubator program called the CEO Circle that is specifically for high-growth companies, and it's a national program. And it's really to help them build capacity and get them ready for raising capital for the next step. In addition, we have something called Bunker Connect, and that really is about bringing everyone in the ecosystem. So if you're a veteran or military spouse looking for work or looking to change jobs, you'll be able to find it and find resources and opportunities there. Or if you're a company looking for suppliers who are veteran-owned companies or again, veteran talent, it's there to really connect the dots in the ecosystem. And we hold those Bunker Connect events about once a month. There is an online community called Bunker Online, and there's a portal called Launch Lab. And so it'll provide any type of resource if you're just at the ideation stage of, hey, I think this is an idea, I don't know if it's good or not, let me figure this out. There is a library of resources from everything from financial resources to marketing to, do you need a co-founder? What does this journey in entrepreneurship look like? You can start there. And then the other initiatives under Bunker Labs include the Veterans in Residence cohort, this peer advisory group that's 6 months long. It's an application process that is in the spring and in the fall. That's for companies that are established and are looking to accelerate and scale their business. It's not just veterans. So while very, very important, it's also for military spouses. I'm a wife of a veteran, so I was never with him when he was active in the military. It's also for children. So anyone who is connected to the military community is welcome. I think the aspects of being in that military connected community is really special and unique, and we welcome everyone into that. So the challenge is with entrepreneurship, and in our experience, is that you want to get to a quick yes or a quick no as fast as you can. You don't want to make 12 phone calls that really, if you can make 2, would help you understand, do I need to buy a delivery truck or do I need to outsource it to what's existing? All of those things in the ecosystem can easily be answered if you connect the dots. And so that ecosystem building is a really critical part of the Bunker Labs community, and frankly a mission for the ambassadors with Bunker Labs like myself is ensuring that we're getting folks the right resources quickly so that they can make decisions and grow their companies as fast and as best as they can. Bunker Labs, being an entrepreneur, surrounding yourself with other military-connected entrepreneurs, a lot of it's about confidence. And while a lot of veterans don't struggle with confidence, entrepreneurship is very hard. It's very lonely, and so the Bunker Labs community is there to provide that foundation and that support. I think from our perspective, we have learned a lot in the nearly 6 years of this entrepreneurship journey, my husband and I, and we have only accelerated our success and our dreaming big and our understanding that anything is possible if you dream big enough and you search for others that also think that way, which is the Bunker community.
If you are a veteran or part of a military family and you want more information about how Bunker Labs can help you, visit our website at BEOshow.com. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. This week in business, technology in Indiana clearly is growing, making for many opportunities, including among minorities. Several studies point out major shortfalls in the tech industry. For instance, 10% of the state's overall workers are black, but studies reveal just 7% of the state's tech workforce is, and only 5% of the software developers in central Indiana are black. Some are aiming to change those numbers with a goal to inclusively grow Indiana's tech sector by 41,000 people by 2030.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Tech Point, Indiana's nonprofit tech sector growth initiative, and Innopower, a community leader in creating innovative minority opportunities, have joined together to tackle the problem. TechPower Executive Vice President Dennis Trinkle and Innopower founder and CEO Emil Ekior explain.
Tech Point's collective action movement is Mission 41K, and the goal is to inclusively grow Indiana's tech workforce by 41,000 net new jobs, net new workers by 2030. And the reason that's so important is twofold. One side of the coin is that talent drives growth and innovation. We simply don't have enough of it. So if we're going to have the economic development we want, if we're going to have company formation, company growth, all of those sorts of things, we've got to have talent. Indiana's got to win the talent war. The other side, painful other side, is that we have all of these individuals in the state who have the right backgrounds, have a lot of the right skills, who would love to have those jobs in tech, but they're blocked from the opportunity. So really excited about the partnership with Innopower, because it's going to enable us to go out into communities and understand what those barriers really are, what the needs are, to be able to unblock those opportunities so that the talent that wants to develop and wants to move into a well-paid career in tech can do so. And then those companies that are dying for that talent can get the people that they need and grow and flourish and do all those wonderful things.
You know, when you have such a big goal of Mission 41K, in the past, what we haven't done a good job of is making sure we have this big goal. How do we make sure everyone has access to this? Everyone has equal access to getting a good paying tech job. To do that, you want to sit down with the folks that are most affected, the folks who don't have a voice in some cases, to help design this. So we get a chance to do this from scratch. We get a chance to go into the communities, listen to them, as far as how they want to access such an opportunity, what resources are available today, what resources need to be in place, right? What groups are doing the work in certain communities, how those groups can play a role in this bigger picture. So everybody is a stakeholder, and we get a chance to sit down with them, listen to them, and take their ideas into the implementation phase. So they'll see their ideas being put into work, which gives them more buy-in as far as this being their program and not just a Tech Point State of Indiana program.
Tech Point's always been state focused, and so we're going to have sessions in Fort Wayne, in Gary, in Indianapolis, and already hearing from other parts of the state that want to participate and be involved in the process. So I'm sure we're going to say yes because we need to be having this conversation all across Indiana. It's not just an Indianapolis problem, it's not just a Gary problem or opportunity. We got to lean in and hear what communities do, and every community is different too. So understanding community needs and community challenges in Indianapolis doesn't mean you figured out what's going on in Gary and how you can address it. It doesn't. If you go to Gary, it doesn't mean you understand what's going on in Fort Wayne. So we need to have statewide and localized conversations.
Well, we also know this is an ecosystem approach. So Mission 41K, 41,000 jobs by 2030. So if you're teaching 10th graders today, we want to make sure that we're preparing them for that opportunity.
The design approach is about listening and understanding problems. So I think some folks might come in thinking that we're going to talk about solutions and that they'll walk away with an understanding of what an agenda is to solve the problems. And that's not the goal. These initial conversations are about getting all of the stakeholders and individuals into the room so that we can understand what the problems and the needs are, and then go off and do the analysis and figure out what the next steps need to be. So somebody coming into the room can expect to be heard, can expect to hear a lot of other perspectives, start to understand how they can contribute, roll up their sleeves and get involved. And then we'll get them involved and we'll have next steps about designing the solutions to go forward. One thing I would mention is just individual participation. Really important to stitch together the community to understand things from community perspectives. Also would want to encourage individuals to come and participate in the sessions for two reasons. We want to hear their needs, their challenges, what solutions would work for them, and also give them a really personal stake so that they understand that what we're trying to accomplish with Mission 41K isn't build solutions and just go out and present them and celebrate it. We're starting with the community first and involving them in those conversations. So it's a great chance to learn about opportunity, but it's also the opportunity to have the voice to shape what needs to be done.
The importance of not looking back 10 years from now and saying, we created 41,000 jobs, but only 1,000 Black Hoosiers had access to these jobs. What happened? Is looking back and saying, because we did all of this in the initial stages, we thought we were creating just 41,000, we ended up creating 75,000, right? So when you engage people and you listen to their ideas and you welcome their ideas, you come up with some of the best ideas going forward. And now the excitement on the ground is there. People become excited about the opportunity that exists. So really eager to get this started. We're already saying beyond our wildest dreams, right? But this isn't new, right? This should be the way we do things. When we have ideas for certain communities or for our entire state, we want every community to feel like this idea belongs to them or this opportunity belongs to them. So really excited about Ting and Dennis at Tech Point really being the example for everybody, right? They're saying we have this big goal and we're just not going to tell you what to do. We're going to come sit down with you and listen to your ideas, and then we go execute the plan.
And it's a great opportunity to get on the radar, right? There's a lot of opportunity out there. If you were looking for that job, there were almost 18,000 open tech positions at the end of September with 4,000 people with the skills to fill them, we think, in the state of Indiana. So there's a ton of opportunity. This is a good way to go out and be seen and find out how to connect and in the community to that opportunity and shape what we're going to do going forward.
IU Health is in the beginning stages of a $1.6 billion expansion project. The health system is committed to diversifying the project by at least 30%. Leading that charge is IU Health's Director of Design and Construction, an award-winning advocate for diversity and inclusion, and the subject of today's success story.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
Akila Darden is the president of the Darden Group and the director of Design and Construction Diversity and Inclusion at IU Health. She has 21 years of commercial construction leadership experience and is creating a legacy in the construction management industry.
I like to start out with the fact that I have two parents who are educators. And they said, one, we could do anything if we work hard for it. And the second is no one can take away your education. So I took a drafting class my junior year of high school, and I figured out then that I wanted to be an architect. I also wanted to go to a historically black college and university, and I found out they had an architectural engineering program at North Carolina A&T State University. So I attended A&T. I graduated with an architectural engineering degree, and I was going to be a famous architect. I worked for an architecture firm for 12 hours. At lunchtime the second day, I was like, maybe that's not it. So I'm an extreme extrovert, if you haven't noticed, and I think I was a little too loud for the architecture firms back home in Alexandria. So I got into construction. The main reason I got into construction was because they told me I couldn't do it. So I like to take on challenges, problem solve, and execute. So I've been in construction 23 years. I've built almost $2 billion in construction in 15 market sectors. So I've already done a $1 billion hospital in Virginia, K through 12, higher ed, you name it, I try to go towards it. So I've been in construction on the East Coast, working at Clark Construction and Gilbane Building, all of my projects on time and under budget. So I would say my success came from being out in the field. I spent the majority of my time in construction out in the field, coordinating and collaborating and communicating with all the subcontractors to find out means and methods, constructability, how things are sequenced and go together. And I knew if I knew that much of how to build, then I would always have a seat at the table. So my success story, I would say, is being driven, learning as much as I could in construction, doing all the hard things, and solving problems. My biggest challenge was diversity. The preconceived notions that I wouldn't be successful in construction. At the time, I was young, black, female. I didn't have a construction background. My parents were educators, so it was the barriers of entry based on perceptions. The second thing I would say was a barrier was that getting the opportunity to be successful, I always had to take it. So I would always do the tough things, like, for instance, construction, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, we say MEP, is always a conflict, whether you're going to put a sprinkler here or ductwork here or a light fixture. So because of my architectural background and the understanding of drawings, I was able to get people to the table, communicate effectively, and being able to solve problems. Let's get everyone in the room, be efficient and effective, and solve problems. And so by that, I was able to get an opportunity to get a seat at the table. Another barrier is, how do I stay at the table and bring others along? And so I taught a lot. My project managers for all my projects, I wanted to make sure that they had enough tools to be successful and surpass me at some point in time, which they all have. But I would definitely say gender and race and ethnicity were a barrier. And just getting opportunities, you would think because of your qualifications, your skill set, your experience, that you wouldn't have the barriers that I faced, but it takes one to open up the door to others. The future of the construction industry is that before I leave this earth, we won't have diversity goals. We'll have enough diverse people at the table creating and making decisions, and that we are based on qualifications and experience, and that we will have so much diversity that we won't need goals, right? Second is the perception of construction changing. Like, put us up against, I'm gonna say it, doctors, lawyers, engineers, because doctors, lawyers, engineers have to go somewhere to do a service. And that's the infrastructure piece. So I want to start educating people on the need. I mean, it is life safety. We need a structure to go to sell whatever business we're in, even if it's home. So let's get demystify what the perceptions of construction is. I want to be able to go into a school and say, right next to an MD and a JD, and be like, hey, I'm construction, and how I add value back to communities and families. And I would say, lastly, is that women got it going on, and diversity has it going on. And if you don't take heed to diversity now, you are going to be left out. So don't be the Kodak, be the Netflix.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunities show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.